seemed youthful, successful, and optimistic. As Judith Hurst and I were driven in an England bus with the rest of the wives, we felt so proud and full of expectation, and the first people we saw when we took our seats were Terence Stamp and Jean Shrimpton, who was probably the face of the 60s. She looked so glamorous, absolutely stunning. The build-up to the final had been overwhelming. It was all anyone talked about, but I could still hardly believe what was happening to us. Bobby had already become football's first pin-up. Terry O'Neill's photo of him, surrounded by models, had appeared in Vogue in 1962. Not only that, he had just graced the fashion pages of the Daily Express, kicking a ball in a Hardy Amies suit. But this was something else again. I was being recognised in Bond Street. Shops would loan me designer clothes. Taxi drivers wouldn't charge fares. I could ring up a restaurant and say, "Tina Moore here, can I have a table?" And the answer was never no. We were having the time of our lives. Suddenly football had married fashion, and now it was feature page material as well, and we were Bobby and Tina, the first couple of football. My picture found its way into The Sun, where it formed part of a collection called 10 of the Best-Looking Women in England. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't just me the press were focusing on. All the players' families found themselves to be of intense media interest. Martin Peters, Geoff Hurst and Bobby, the three West Ham players in the England side, all lived close by each other in suburban Essex, and there were photo shoots in our back gardens, with toddlers crawling around our feet. Pictures of the girls of 1966 appeared in the Sunday Times: elegant Norma Charlton, pretty coltish Leslie Ball, the lovely warm Judith Hurst, and tall dark-haired Kathy Peters. I suppose we were the prototype footballers' wives, but rather than being singers and models and celebrities in our own right, we were ordinary girls from ordinary backgrounds who only surfaced in the glare of publicity because we were married to the players. We were of no consequence whatsoever. For instance, on the evening of the World Cup final, there was a celebration dinner at the Royal Garden Hotel in Kensington. Everyone was there, players and officials of the 4 semi-finalists, the World Cup organising committee, the upper ranks of the Football Association, everyone but the wives. The only women allowed into the banquet were the official photographer, Sally Lombard, and her 2 assistants. One was Estelle Lombard, Sally's niece, the other was Betty Wilde, my mother. The explanation: Sally Lombard's company, Jalmar, held the photographic concession at all the top London hotels. My mother and Sally were great friends. They went way back. As soon as it looked as if England would make the final, the 2 of them hatched the idea between them. I wasn't jealous. I thought my mother was brilliant to have got herself in. I didn't manage to set eyes on Bobby until around midnight, when photographers got us together for a picture on the roof terrace. Normally about as hot-headed as a snowman, that night he was wild with happiness. As we left the hotel, I gasped. Thousands of people were waiting outside just to get a glimpse of him. That night, Bobby was the most famous man in England. The next day, everyone went to the ATV studios, where the team appeared on a show hosted by Eamon Andrews, and after that we went back to our house in Gants Hill on the outskirts of London. Everyone came to terms with the events of the weekend in their different ways. Geoff Hurst mowed the lawn, then washed his car, the same as he did every Sunday afternoon. Jack Charlton, several sheets to the wind, famously woke up in a sitting room in Leytonstone, having spent the night on the sofa of a complete stranger. When he tottered outside the next morning, a Geordie voice said, "Hello, Jack," from over the garden fence. It was a lady from his hometown of Ashington, in London for the weekend to visit relatives. And the most celebrated man in England and his wife? We held a party for our friends and relived the day. But after the guests had gone, everything just felt a little bit flat. Bobby poured himself a lager and tried to settle down to watch television.